UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Don't look now, but the Buffalo Bills are circling the wagons even in the snow at Orchard Park, New York. They began 0-4, but they can get over 500 if they can beat the hapless Cleveland Browns. How hapless? You watch. William Green, boom. Nate Clements recovers. Green 5 yards, 11 carries. He was a big ground gainer today for the Browns. Meanwhile, Bills having Willis McGahee, 13-yard run, 17-7 Bills, 105 McGahee. Now, Adam Shinobi and Chimandu from Bournemouth and Troy Vincent playing for the first time since October 3rd in a new position. Free safety, fumble recovery, a pick, and a sack in this game. Sam Adams, a.k.a. the Keg, tapping into a blitz on McCown, on Luke. Send in McCown. Then Jeff Garcia in a couple plays, hit by Aaron Schobel, fumble. Chris Kelsey recovers. Garcia 1-for-1, 5 yards, gone with sprained knee. Back comes Luke McCown. Send in McCown indeed. That's Lawyer Malloy, 8 sacks. Buffalo limits Cleveland to only 17 yards to Loftus. They were minus yards into the fourth quarter, so the Bills now have won their last games 37-17, 38-9, 42-32, 37-7. Here they come, 3 wide on the outside.
Yeah, and when you look at the game plan, Willis McGahee, 27 carries. He carries the load, 105 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Drew Bledsoe, only 100 yards, but only the 1 pick. This football team, just like you said, coming on into the year.
And it's going to be a very good game at Cincinnati next week. Interesting game for Buffalo, 7-6. They have an outside shot. Meanwhile, Saints and Cowboys, 2 teams hoping for an outside shot in the NFC where everybody but the 49ers have an outside shot. Julius Jones, last 3 games, you saw him Monday night, 429 yards, 5 TDs. Touchdown early, no problem. The Saints have been outscored 107-10 in the first quarter this year, 10-0 Cowboys. But Vinny Testaverde throwing and Mike McKenzie takes off with the interception, sets up a Deuce McAllister touchdown, 10-7. Vinny Vici. He came, he saw, he threw it away. Next play, Vinny Vici. He came, he saw, he pump faked, he was incomplete, he was booted home. 14 of 35, 160 throwing. Meanwhile, Aaron Brooks, who had always a couple of humorous plays early, this time to Deuce McAllister. The Saints lead 20-13? Under 3 to go. Aaron Brooks to Joe. Don't bother me right now. I'm on the horn. Touchdown. What a catch he makes, Tom.
Yeah, take a look at it on the sideline right there working against Terrence Newman, and what a great job of not only getting the ball, but powering his way into the end zone.
Good job.
A tribute to our troops.
Good job there, Joe, as the Saints and Cowboys are each 5-8. I know 8-8 might get you in, it might, but that's about, as the Eagles once sang, take it to the limit. So the Saints won a road game in December.
I know.
And Bill lost a game in December.
And Coach lost one, yeah.
When we return on NFL Primetime, Tom Brady, Patriots, Coach Bill Belichick, could they continue to roll on to another win over the red-hot Cincinnati Bengals? And Tom, he's a game breaker. Kyle Bowler went bowling. He had more than a turkey. He had 4 strikes. We'll explain.
Take it from inside the 10-yard line. The reserve wide receiver with the good block on the play by Patrick Mace. And on the run and chased on the play by Earl Little. He will take it the distance.
Comes off and Mason, watch out. Here's your duck champ. Wow.
And there's the Minister of Defense again.
You just had the birth of your first child. It wasn't. Oh, look at that shot.
Vinny is looking for the 7 here. And it is caught. Is Keyshawn Johnson. Touchdown, Dallas. They give it to Jones. Through the middle, Julius Jones. Touchdown, Dallas. Big run.
3 minutes of punishment. 10 rounds of action. And sometimes you can describe them as the best rounds of the year. We're searching through our collection and choosing what we consider to be the best of Friday night fights. Every week, only on ESPN. The NBA on ESPN is back for a new season, and we've got you covered with the week's hottest live matchups, plus highlights and more on NBA action. The NBA on ESPN. Don't miss a minute.
Simply the finest football on the planet. ESPN continues full-day coverage of the UEFA Champions League all the way through the championship game in May. ESPN, the home of the UEFA Champions League.
Oh, the NFL on ESPN marches towards the playoffs in Week 14 of this incredible season. The amazing Philadelphia Eagles swagger into Washington with their gaudy 11-1 record to take on their division rivals, the Washington Redskins. Eagles, Redskins live tonight. Then it's an old-fashioned shootout when the high-powered offense of the Kansas City Chiefs take on Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans. Eagles, Redskins live tonight. Chiefs, Titans live Monday on ESPN. Best of Friday night fights on ESPN. After conquering the USBA light heavyweight title, James Harlow Hammer Butler wanted to avenge an early defeat in his career against Richard the Alien Grant. Friday on ESPN. A full night of the World Series of Poker. Friday only on ESPN. Chevrolet Fantasy Ticker is brought to you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American Revolution.
And the Bears are against Jacksonville. The Jags, boy, they've lost. They won nail-biters. They lost nail-biters the last few weeks. Now, they were looking for a laugh for Byron Leftwich to Reggie Williams, who's had a nice rookie season, Tom. That's his first touchdown.
Absolutely.
7-0. Chad Hutchinson looked good last week. Jason Gilden said, you ain't going to look good this week. Loss of 14 yards. Bears settle for a field goal despite being deep. 10-3. Leftwich to Todd Yoder. Hit by Mike Green. Brian Urlacher, Johnny on the spot. But flag on the play.
Yeah, and watch Charles Tillman. He's going to come in on a blitz, and if you hit the quarterback up around the head, up around the throat, you're going to get that call every time. Roughing the passer, they retain possession of the football.
Leaves the Jags field goal 13-3. Byron Leftwich. Jimmy Smith hit hard by R.W. McQuarters. So Smith, McQuarters helps him make change. He returned questionable at the time. Then Darrell Smith up the middle, sacks Chad Hutchinson. You know, Tom, as a defender, nothing better you like than getting a safety.
Yeah, watch the play action right here. He comes through on the inside, curls around, and that is a safety, I reckon.
And ensuing Jags position now, Jimmy Smith, he's back. And what a catch that is. He's fighting through the pass interference. Woo. He's been a really outstanding player for a long time. He's toiled with no fanfare because it's in Jacksonville. And the Jags get back over 500. They've really had a nice season. They win finally an easy game for them, 22-3. 5 sacks and the safety of Hutchinson. The Jags held Chicago to just over 200 yards. When we return, the stories of the Mannings. 2 stories, completely different. Peyton going for the record books. He set 1, not the one you think. Meanwhile, although the Colts had their hands full, and Eli, well, it was what you think. Tough time against Baltimore.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. Oh, that hurts. These guys are tough. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh. The NFL on ESPN.
Oh, the NFL on ESPN marches towards the playoffs in Week 14 of this incredible season. The amazing Philadelphia Eagles swagger into Washington with their gaudy 11-1 record to take on their division rivals, the Washington Redskins. Eagles, Redskins live tonight. Then it's an old-fashioned shootout when the high-powered offense of the Kansas City Chiefs take on Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans. Eagles, Redskins live tonight. Chiefs, Titans live Monday on ESPN. On ESPN Tuesday night, an all-star matchup on a special night. The champion Detroit Pistons travel to New York to battle one of the best in the East. Pistons versus Knicks live Wednesday night. The NBA on ESPN. Best of Friday night fights on ESPN. After conquering the USBA light heavyweight title, James Harlem Hammer Butler wanted to avenge an early defeat in his career against Richard the Alien Grant. Friday on ESPN.
Simply the finest football on the planet. The top clubs. The elite players. In a quest for the ultimate prize of European football. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN. The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. Oh, that hurts. These guys are tough. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh. The NFL on ESPN.
Inside the Numbers. Brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
Giants at the Ravens, and Jim Fossil on Brian Billick's staff in Baltimore. Certainly led the Giants to the Super Bowl 4 years ago against these Ravens. Saying hello to some of his old players like Tiki Barber. Tiki hit first defensive series. Ray Lewis recovers. Tiki's done such a much better job.
Absolutely.
First fumble of the year.
Absolutely. The first one this year. Giants fans should appreciate that.
However, 3 turnovers in the first quarter. And you think Kyle Bowler likes the Stormin' Mormon back in the lineup? Todd Heap, 37 yards inside the 30. Fossil likes it. And then Bowler, he likes it because he goes right back to Heap. Heap had a big day. He was a heap of trouble for the... Look at the moves. 2 moves by 2 guys. Touchdown. And very quickly, it's 17-0 Ravens. Then Eli Manning. More of this duck picked up by Ed Reed. And then, what? There's Neion. He's faster than me. Reed not only makes the pick, but he likes to flip it off, doesn't he?
And that's a guy, I think, a good choice for Defensive Player of the Year, always around the football, Boom.
And Eli attempting to hand it off to Tiki Barber, recovered by Kelly Gregg. 5 turnovers, Giants. Warner loosening up. Meanwhile, Bowler plenty loose. Watch this play for Heat. Wow, just steals the ball from Will Allen. He out-wills him, Tom.
Yeah, we take another look at it, and look at the hands, look at the height, look at the athleticism, and the balance to get both feet in.
And then this is a fitting play here. Eli, and he completes it out of bounds to Kurt Warner. Well, while you have the ball, why don't we bring it in? And so Warner comes in. It's 30. He leads into a touchdown. 37-14. He completed some passes. He hits Jeremy Shockey late, but Dion and Gary Baxter keep him out of the end zone. And Kyle Bowler, Fossil, Billick with that crest in the middle of the field. Eli Manning, the mama said there'd be more days like this. He's playing the tough teams. And 37-14, the Ravens now 8-5, back on track. Bowler, 4 touchdown passes. You saw that Eli 4 of 18, 2 picks for 27 yards. The Giants have lost 6 straight afterwards. Both quarterbacks talked to the situation.
This guy's the quarterback of the future for the New York Giants, period. No question about that. You know, and you're going to have some of these games as you're trying to grow and learn in this league that you don't do too well.
Coach Coughlin, he's sticking with me, and he understands it's rough, you know, right now for a rookie quarterback, and they go through some growing times, and I appreciate that. But I just gotta, you know, I gotta get my teammates back trusting me that I can go in there and play and start doing the things that put us in a situation to win.
And that's the right comment.
That's right.
At this stage, say what you want about what's happened. They got to stick with Eli now, don't they?
Eli Manning, absolutely. Eli Manning is not just some quarterback that you stuck in. He is the #1 overall choice in the draft. He's the future of the New York Giants. I think he's learning a little bit about the impatience of New York Giants fans and how they're watching this season go. But certainly the speed of the game, at some point, it will slow down for Eli. When it does, he'll find that the reads are better. In fact, the guy on the other side of the field, Kyle Bowler, a month or so ago, I was just ready to sit this guy down and give this staff credit, especially Jim Fossil, for sticking with this guy because he looked like he turned a corner. You got Todd Heap back in the lineup. You got Jamal Lewis in that lineup. Yep. All of a sudden, he looks like a different guy, different quarterback.
And Eli is already known from Peyton. First year, Peyton Manning 3 and 3.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Speaking of which, Peyton Manning going after the records, and the Colts going after team offensive records. Peyton Manning in Houston to play the Texans. They beat him 49-14 earlier this year. And here's touchdown pass number 45 in the first quarter. Manning, the Marvin Harrison record, of course, Marino set 20 years ago, 48. And what's amazing is they get the touchdown passes, Tom, like inside the 5.
That's right. That's right. The equivalent of a short run into the end zone.
Marcus Pollard caught it. Reggie Wayne, stately Wayne Manor. It's a touchdown. 14-0 Colts, 46 TDs. But, oh, by the way, the Texans said, not today. No blowout today. Dante Robinson, the #1 draft pick, Houston with a forces a fumble, but the whistle blew. This was confusing. Colts keep the ball 14-7. Dominic Davis had 200 yards rushing and receiving. Here's 15 of them. Wow, wait a minute, ball game. First game the Colts have been in for like a month and a half. 17-14, Colts lead by 3. Dwight Freeney from
Bloomfield, Connecticut
makes the sack of David Carr. Freeney had 3 on the day. You know, they are bringing the pass rush from the front.
That's right.
That is something that's coming. Here's Robert Mathis. These two guys bring heat, Tom.
Yeah, the two ends are starting to apply the pressure. This is something that Tony Dungy said was going to happen, and becoming a better defense down the stretch.
It's 20-14, so that's 3rd and 10, a 14-yard play. Manning to Wayne. 3 minutes to go, 2nd and 11. You know, it's a 6-point game. Edger and James. Tough 14-yard run. Sets up a field goal. And the Colts win 23-14. It's not the record you thought. By the way, Peyton Manning will have a chance to set that record conveniently on ESPN Sunday Night Football against Baltimore. You'll see that next Sunday night. The Colts win 23-14. 13 straight multi-touchdown games for Manning. That's a record, breaking the old mark of 12, shared by Marino, Johnny Unitas, Brett Favre, and that Dan Darrell, Don Meredith. And the Colts, that's the lowest they scored all year, by the way.
That's right. We say 23, 24 points is the best you can hope for.
And this is what, after 13 games, Marino in his record-setting year at 36. And after 13 games, that would be 46 for Peyton Manning. And so we'll see if he can set the record on the next Sunday night game here on ESPN. Meanwhile, the New England Patriots, business as usual. They're 11-1. Although you look at their schedule, and okay, we get Miami coming up, San Francisco. Cincinnati came in a hot team, winners of 4 of the last 5. Corey Dillon ready to run the ball against his old squad. Here we go, a prime cut from New England. The Bengals at the Patriots. And a nice scene before Corey Dillon and his old coach, Marvin Lewis. Two good guys. Had a nice chat with Corey this week, as you saw in Countdown. And he said, hey, we just want to win the game. Rodney Harrison forces a fumble on Corey's replacement, Rudy Johnson. Willie McGinnis having a big year, Tom.
Yeah, and always around the football, always with the big plays, playing maybe better as well as he has during his entire career.
That's Charlie Weiss, not official yet, but just about Notre Dame bound, still calling the plays, Patriots. Corey Dillon, touchdown, a 1-yard run, 7-0 New England. Carson Palmer, touchdown pass, 7-7. Tom Brady, how's this look? Yikes. David Patton, 48 yards, 14-7 Patriots. Now the Bengals with the ball. The Bengals have been scoring a lot of points. Big comeback last week against Baltimore. Asante Samuel picks off Palmer. He could go all the way. 14 points, 12 seconds. New England now with a 14-point lead, 21-7. But Palmer, Bengals fight back. Nice. Chad Johnson at the corner of the end zone, 21-14. Next possession, Brady marches him down in a 2-minute offense. Kevin Falk touchdown. 22 seconds remaining. The good teams always score in the last minutes of the halftime. 28-14. Brady, how does he do this? Tom Brady on the seat of his pants, fittingly to Patrick, pass. 7 yards.
It's the awareness. You know, we see guys that can't throw the ball and can't read. This guy, off of his butt, can read exactly where his receiver's going to be and complete a pass like that.
Amazing. But, you know, on his feet, he's not too bad either. Same drive, standing up to tight end Christian Fourier. Nice pass, nice catch. Brady 18 of 26, 260, 35-14 New England. Game over, right? Especially when Richard Seymour knocks Carson Palmer out. MRI tomorrow, left knee sprain, so it doesn't seem bad. But while Palmer left, Bengals down by 3 touchdowns. Kyle Larson, rookie punter, Nebraska. No! Remember the Patriots, all the trickery they do? The Bengals pulled a big play, and now it's 35-21. John Kitna screwing his head on right, pumping himself up literally. He's going to be a quarterback. 3rd and goal from the 10. Kitna picked up by Troy Brown. And
Bandery now.
He has 3 interceptions. That's tied for the team lead. Oh, by the way, he's a receiver. But Bengals undaunted despite Rodney Harrison nailing Rudy Johnson. And then Kitna to Hushmanzada. And watch Eugene Wilson, bam, but he holds on.
Yeah, great job of making some plays for the quarterback, giving him a little bit of confidence.
Allows Kitna to throw to Kelly Washington. 27-yard touchdown. It's 35-28. Just over 2 minutes to go, 2nd and 10. Brady hits to Troy Brown. This is what he does. He caught 2 balls, and then the Patriots take 3 knees. Hushmanzada, by the way, caught 12 balls today for Cincinnati. But the New England Patriots, with a result happening later on, they clinched their division, and they beat the Bengals 35-28. They've won 27 of 28 games, despite the fact that Cincinnati, Tom, outgained the Patriots 478-351. Now, hey, look, a win is a win, and they don't have to complain the way they play, but did you see something today that...
Wow.
Maybe some...
Well, I think when we start thinking about the New England Patriots, we always think down the road. Congratulations to that team and that staff for winning their division. But when you look at the success that the Bengals had throwing the football, let's just take a look. Ted Johnson going to come in here untouched. Palmer reading the blitz behind him. Tight end Matt Schobel going to come open over the middle. He throws the ball right behind the blitz. You get a touchdown. Now the Patriots come with 7 on the blitz. Hushmanzada is on the slot, going to match up man-to-man with Randall Gay. He's reading that man-to-man matchup. He breaks to the post. Nice delivery of the football by Carson Palmer. The next time they come again, we see the blitz package. This is 6. Chad Johnson now gets the man-to-man coverage up top. And Chad, one of the better receivers in this league. Runs a little flag route. He comes in. We call this a 7. Back out to the post. To the flag. And he throws a perfect ball. And then finally, Chad Johnson, on the bottom of the screen. And here again, Palmer reading right there. Again, the 7 route between the cornerback and the safety, and he makes a pretty good throw right there. So when you look at the success that they had throwing the ball, I think we all will think about this. What's going to happen when the Indianapolis Colts, because eventually and that's a long way off, but the possibility of this magnificent offensive machine of the Colts going up against a team, I just think they have to get healthy. They have to get people back. Ty Law in particular has to get back in this lineup.
Well, and they don't know yet.
And we don't know.
Broken bone in foot, but you could be playing the Colts. You could eventually be playing. I know we're going way down the list.
Way down. Although I will say this, they do find, and it is
they win
a way to win. That's all we know. They find a way to win games.
Lost since last.
I know.
Won.
I know. It's unbelievable.
The Bengals. The Bengals interesting, showing where they're going.
That's right.
They're not getting anywhere this year, but they're showing where they're going. That'd be a good game against Buffalo next week. Yeah. Speaking of going, how about when we return? How about the San Diego Chargers keeping it going against Tampa Bay? Could they? The Bucs have been playing some really good football. Meanwhile, the bus, not only running, but the bus going into the passing lane. We'll be back.
ESPN Sport Legends presents Chris Evert. Chris Evert burst onto the tennis scene as a 16-year-old, but her demeanor on the court was far more mature.
They dubbed me Little Miss Icicle, Little Miss Cool.
She hated that.
because she says, well, I am emotional. I do feel. On the court, she's a different story.
She said to me, it wasn't me. It wasn't how I was. It wasn't who I was.
Over the portal that leads out from the women's locker room and the main club at Wimbledon out onto center court is part of the Kipling poem, If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. It's the last thing they see before they step on court for a Wimbledon championship. And I've always campaigned to put Chris Everett's picture next to it, because I don't know of anyone in the game of tennis that lived up to Kipling's challenge better than Chris Everett.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. Oh, that hurts. These guys are tough. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh. The NFL on ESPN.
On ESPN Tuesday night, an all-star matchup on a special night. The champion Detroit Pistons travel to New York to battle one of the best in the East. Pistons versus Knicks live Wednesday night. The NBA on ESPN. Best of Friday night fights on ESPN. After conquering the USBA light heavyweight title, James Harlem Hammer Butler wanted to avenge an early defeat in his career against Richard the Alien Grant. Friday on ESPN.
Visa Skycam, the Philadelphia Eagles, and Donovan McNabb onto the field against the Redskins. Sunday Night Football at the bottom of the hour.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Here we go with the leaders in the AFC West by 2 games. The 9-3 San Diego Superchargers. Another sellout at home. This is such big news against Tampa Bay, who after an 0-4 start is now at 5-7 in the hunt. Drew Brees to Eric Parker. And early second quarter, they pen a 79-yard touchdown. 7-0 San Diego. Now 14-7 Brian Greasy, Joey Galloway. We're tied at 14. Remember, Tampa won the game in this field, Super Bowl 37 2 years ago. LaDainian Tomlinson, 35 yards. Had a big workmanlike day again. LT, up the middle. Touchdown. And San Diego leads it 21-14. Now 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and a rare... the Bucs defense can force even the tough guys to fumble it. He holds onto the ball well, Tom, but not here. Tampa in business. Ensuing drive, Brian Greasy to the rookie. Oh, Michael Clayton, 20-yard touchdown. We're tied at 21.
Yeah, we're getting a group of great young receivers in this league, and Michael Clayton is one of them. Great job of tipping the ball back to himself, and you can see John Gruden overjoyed right there.
5 with the score, still tied. Picked off by Donnie Edwards. 4 minutes to go. He could go all the way for the clinching touchdown. Edwards, who had 20 tackles last week, makes the pick. It's 28-21, and now with the greasy strip by Steve Foley, the Chargers recover. And they go on to kick a field goal. Tampa comes down, kicks a field goal, but San Diego runs it out, and they beat the Bucs 31-24. LaDainian Tomlinson on the day ran for 131 yards, caught balls for 19 yards, despite 36 of 50 for 392 by Greasy. It's Drew Brees and the Chargers. Tommy, they've won 10 games this year.
Yeah.
Last year, they were a laughingstock.
And a 2-game lead on the Denver Broncos in the AFC West, so they're tracking a division title as well.
So San Diego wins. Denver trying to stay within 2 to keep pace. Jake Plummer, Broncos at home against Miami. First quarter, Plummer, pass tipped, then picked off by Jay Williams. Crowd booing. Plummer, don't need to do that. You just don't need to do it. And I don't know how many saw it, but more saw it now. That was his reaction. Meanwhile, back to action. Broncos tied the game at 14. Tatum Bell, an 11-yard touchdown. Bell outside now. Looks like he's on his way to the end zone. He trips. It's the altitude, Tom. The replay, big run, but ooh, could have been a touchdown. Next play, it's Bell again. First and goal at the 7. And he bounces just short of the end zone. Next play, Plummer to Bell. There that is. Oh, drops it. And so the Broncos have to settle for a field goal. They do lead at 17-14, then it's tied 17-all. Ruben Drones back in for Bell. And Drones, you know that he's had a big year, 21 tough yards. Drones run sets up Jason Elam, 50 yards. Good. Boy, he's still got the big-time leg. 50 yards, the Broncos lead 20-17. A.J. Feely broken up by Kelly Herndon. You know, give Miami credit for playing hard for Jim Bates.
Yes, absolutely.
And they go into Denver, and that's a pretty tough thing to win. They almost do it, but they fall for the 11th time. Denver, an important win for them. They're 8-5, 20-17. They win it. Plummer, 16 of 30, 2 picks for 219. Bell at 120.
Yeah, Ruben Drones looks like we're handing that off to Tatum Bell, who has that quickness and that speed you look for. Just got to make plays down around the end zone.
Meanwhile, the big game of the day was between the Pittsburgh Steelers, 10 for 10 in starts by Ben Roethlisberger, 11-1 at home against the New York Jets, who had lost only 3 times. And here we go in Pittsburgh with another one of our elite prime cuts, Dick LeBeau. What a great job he's done with the Steelers defense. He was a great player in the league. And Steelers defense ranked 1 coming into Sunday's game. Chad Pennington, play action, his second game back, but Troy Polamalu intercepts it, pass intended for Moss, and Polamalu, what? Goes back the other way, then what? Looking for a button, what? Finally tackled at the 37, Jeff Reed, a field goal, 34 yards. Still a 3-0 game. Pennington behind Jonathan Carter. And then too high to Gerald Soule. A tough hitting game. The Jets had only allowed a handful of points the last 3 games. Pennington play action to Wayne Corbett. In the seam, it's underthrown, and so Chad still rusty today. Of course, Pittsburgh had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's defense played awfully well, and this guy in particular has just had a tremendous season. Right there, James Ferrier it was a great pick. Again, one-handed, had to tip it back to himself to make it happen.
And so the Jets down 3-0 at the half, still have a shot, good shot. Pennington showing he can throw the ball deep. Their own 28 airs it to Justin McCairns, 43-yard reception. Steelers challenge, play stands, sets up a Doug Bryan field goal, 3-3. First play, 4th quarter. Deuce Staley played much of the first 2.5 quarters, but Jerome Bettis bulldozes away 12 yards, 13,000 career yards. He and Curtis Martin each passed that. Did I say pass? Bettis passing, 3rd touchdown pass of his career. Look at that to Jeremy Tooman. What a big play, 10-3. Then, the guy that usually throws it, Ben Roethlisberger to Lee Mays. Not to say, hey, kid, but the hey, kid. He catches it, 46 yards. Then, Dan Kreider gets the handoff.
To the outside. Great block.
As Bettis, look at Bettis, hits the hole with the block. Kreider, 12-yard run. And yes, they're division champs. What a season the Steelers continue to have. The Jets fall to 9-4. Pittsburgh now 12-1. As Roethlisberger 11 for 11. They're eating the Roethlisbergers. They're putting the Heinz ketchup on it. It's 17-6. The Steelers win it. And with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Jerome Bettis, you know, congratulations to... It's just good to see him play like this. He and Curtis Martin each passed the 13,000-yard mark. So going into the day, we had 4 guys. We had Emmett, we had Barry Sanders, we had Walter Payton, of course, we had Eric Dickerson, and now both Bettis and Curtis Martin get over the mark. And Pittsburgh Steelers.
They have not blinked yet.
No.
They have not blinked. They've been able to win all the important games. Ben Roethlisberger still undefeated and starts as a rookie. I thought the importance of this game was the fact that they played such a tough physical game against the Jags last week. I knew it would be difficult to recover and come back and play a tough team. The Jets, who are also very physical, want to run the ball down your throats, and they won that battle. This was one that they kind of had to sneak by, and I thought they did 9 completions by Big Ben. That's not a lot, but he did protect the football again.
And how about Bettis running? I mean, Staley doesn't look quite right yet.
Actually, Deuce Staley looks a little bit rusty, and Jerome Bettis looks like he's gotten into a groove. So I think Coach Cowher has a little bit of a decision to make as how he's going to use that 1-2 punch.
The big picture for the Jets, though, is, look, they say, oh, boy, they can't win a real tough team on the road. Look,
that's tough.
They're not going to win their division, and now they aren't going to win their division. They played a tough team, tough on the road. We'll see. The Jets should still be playoff bound if they can pick things up, although they play the Patriots in week number 16. When we return, Randy Moss and the Vikings against the Seahawks, 2 teams in first place that you don't feel like that. Which team, speaking of blinking, would blink? And with Brett Favre and the Packers, he's 13-0 at home in his career against Detroit. But the Lions had other ideas for a long time.
Take it from inside the 10-yard line. The reserve wide receiver with the good block on the play by Patrick Ness. And on the run and chased on the play by Earl Little. He will take it the distance.
Comes off and Mason, watch out. Here's your duck champ.
Wow. And there's the Minister of Defense again.
You just had the birth of your first child. It wasn't. Oh, look at that shot. Vinny is looking for the 7 here. And it is caught. Inbounds is Keyshawn Johnson. Touchdown, Dallas. Gonna give it to Jones. Through the middle, Julius Jones. Touchdown, Dallas. Big run.
Minutes of punishment, 10 rounds of action. We're searching through our collection and choosing what we consider to be the best of Friday night fights. Every week, only on ESPN.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. These guys are tough. The NFL on ESPN.
Oh, the NFL on ESPN marches towards the playoffs in week 14 of this incredible season. The amazing Philadelphia Eagles swagger into Washington with their gaudy 11-1 record to take on their division rivals, the Washington Redskins. Eagles, Redskins live tonight. Then it's an old-fashioned shootout when the high-powered offense of the Kansas City Chiefs take on Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans. Eagles, Redskins live tonight. Chiefs, Titans live Monday on ESPN. Full night of the World Series of Poker, Friday, only on ESPN. On ESPN Tuesday night, an all-star matchup on a special night. The champion Detroit Pistons travel to New York to battle one of the best in the East. Pistons versus Knicks, live Wednesday night. The NBA on ESPN.
Terrell Owens and the Eagles, 11-1. Facing off at the Redskins at the bottom of the hour in Sunday Night Football. And now we go to the desert where it's a dry heat. The 49ers have won 1 game this year, 31-28 in overtime over Arizona. Remember it. Dennis Erickson getting a tan. It's 28-17. The Niners led 28-3. Emmitt Smith with an 8-yard run. And they go for 2. Josh tears of McCown. It's 28-25. Then after a Maurice Hicks fumble, Cards have the ball. Alito Hansen, great defensive stop for the Niners, forcing Arizona to settle for a field goal when they could have won the game. And then in overtime, Hicks with a big run 17 yards. Setting up Todd Peterson. Well, we crunched this thing down for you just like their first meeting when San Francisco came from way behind. Peterson, good, 31 yards. And I tell you what, they can do nothing else. They can beat Arizona 31-28 in overtime. The Niners 2-11, both wins, same score against Arizona.
Just need to play them more often.
Let's talk to the schedulers and see what we can have. Ken Dorsey, 3 touchdown passes, San Francisco. First start for the St. Louis Rams, Chris Chandler. Mark Bolger out, and Chandler against Carolina. Remember Ricky Manning Jr., the big play made in the playoffs last year?
Absolutely. This guy makes big plays for this team, and he knows how to get the ball headed in the opposite direction, brings that one almost back to the 50-yard line.
And he does it against the Rams, that's for sure. Jake Daylight come, and you got Adelo under pressure, throwing the other way to Muhsin Muhammad. How about Carolina? Once upon a time, they'd won just one game. They were 1-7. Meanwhile, Chandler picked off by Will Witherspoon. That's his second pick if you're counting at home. 10 seconds left in the half. It's 20-7. Chandler picked off by Chris Gamble in the end zone. 3 picks. Now Chandler in the third quarter. Manning Jr. on the tip off the hands of Isaac Bruce. Chandler, and back in the lineup is Dan Morgan, the middle linebacker. 5 picks, tying a franchise record. But wait a minute, there's more. Chandler, 6 picks. Oh my goodness. They also fumbled, by the way. 7 points, 7 turnovers, and the Carolina Panthers have now won 5 in a row. They were 1-7. They're 6-7. Very much in the hunt. For St. Louis, they fall below 500. It's the most interceptions by a Rams quarterback in a single game since Bill Wade, pre-Chicago Bears, 1958. So what, 40? You guys started one game?
Yeah, one game.
Most interceptions, 46 years.
One game, 7 picks.
Oh, God. Meanwhile, so the Rams were losing. The Seahawks, much beleaguered after their Monday night debacle, playing Randy Moss, Dante Culpepper, and the Vikings. Naturally, they had a 10-0 lead, but this would be a little bit different. Matt Hasselbeck to Bobby Ingram, touchdown. Another Hasselbeck touchdown pass. Wait a minute. Seahawks are ahead 14-10. Now 14-13, Culpepper, Randy Moss, touchdown. 20-14, Culpepper to Moss. 50 times they've hooked up. Matt Hasselbeck. Seattle just trying to shake off. Monday night to Darrell Jackson. He visited his dad, who was ill. He got back in town late Saturday night. His dad passed away on Sunday. Jackson comes through with a touchdown and 10 receptions. Amazing. But Hasselbeck picked off by Brian Russell. And this puts them in position for a Viking field goal. With the score 24-23, Ontario Smith drops the handoff. Rashad Moore recovers, and Seattle gets a field goal. 27-23. Randy Moss with just 2:12 to go. Why?
You know, we've seen that play a number of times this year, and what you tell a guy is if that play's not wide open, you have to throw the football away. But why not let the quarterback, who's used to throwing the football, make that throw?
That was Michael Bulwer with the pick just seconds to go. The Vikings have another chance down 27-23. Moss over the middle, 36 yards. Culpepper, tick, 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 boom. Spikes the ball. There was a flag down. They said, no, nobody was offside. And so 4 seconds to go, Minnesota has a chance to win it. Mike Holmgren has seen this before. But Antonio Cochran, if you can attack, you can sack. Cochran makes the play. See it. Now, wait a minute. Watch why they turn around. Whoa, 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 whoa. Because the ball is down to Jermaine Wiggins. Wait a minute. Wasn't he down? Let's take a look.
Well, as you take another look, we're gonna freeze it right there. You can see he's in the grass. His knee is on the ground. Play should have been over. Whistle didn't blow. And even though he threw the ball, it was not caught, so game over.
So Mike Holmgren, beleaguered. But you know what? Through all of this, what did we say this morning? Through all of it, they can still win the division.
Absolutely.
And with the Rams losing and Seattle winning, the Seahawks, who have won more on the road than they've lost, which is already amazing, beat the Vikings. They're like mirror images, these teams. They both started off well. They both hit the clunkers, but Seattle gets the win. Hasselbeck for 334, and hats off to Darrell Jackson. More on that in a moment, and our condolences as well. Steve Mariucci, one-time quarterback coach of Brett Favre, two great friends still, Lions coach. Brett Favre, the Packer quarterback playing at Lambeau Field. Favre 13-0 at home in his career against the Lions. A few of the games early in Milwaukee, the rest at Lambeau. But early on, Brett was 3 of 15 in the first half.
It was amazing. It was amazing to watch Brett Favre play as badly as he did following that debacle against Philadelphia.
People think that Julius Jones is the only rookie Jones running back excelling late in the year. That's Kevin Jones, had almost 200 last week for Detroit. 24-yard touchdown. He had 118 yards in the first half. But third quarter with Detroit up 13-3. Favre to Donald, Duke and the driver, first down. Then Favre would be 16 of 21 in the second half. 23 yards to driver. That's the Brett Favre that Detroit is sick and tired of seeing in Green Bay, frankly. 13-10, Lions. Favre to Bubba Franks through his hands, settled for a field goal, tied at 13. Under 2 minutes to go, it's 3rd and 8. Packers at the Lions, 28. Favre looking for Walker. Zing! First down, which leads to Ryan Longwell with a shot and a chip shot. 23 yards. Good. Good. Packers win 16-13. Joey Harrington, Lions game, but they fall to 5-8. Green Bay, after the 6-game winning streak snapped, then they go back to win it, and they go to 8-5. So far, going for under 200 in a day. Lions were game, but in this situation, it's Green Bay with Minnesota losing. They now have the lead in the NFC North. So the NFC playoff picture, where you know that Philly and Atlanta have clinched division titles. Pack, Seahawks. This is kind of confusing, frankly. The Packers lead their division. The Seahawks lead their division. The Vikings are a leader in a wild card race. And now the Panthers and Rams at 6 and 7. Maybe everybody will be over 5.
And I think we said that the Panthers, and I think we both like the Panthers because of the character that football team shows. And I think when you look at Brett Favre, just think about how badly he played early. And to be able to turn that around, I think that's what makes them such a dangerous football team once the playoffs start. If he's in, he's a guy that you've just got. I know that they got killed by the Philadelphia Eagles, but I wouldn't bet on that happening a second time, that kind of a score, if you had to play Brett Favre again.
So we had 6 or 6.5 quarters of rough football.
That's correct.
Back and they get it together for the quarter and a half, and they win it. And look, in the Norris division and in the West, just string together a couple of
Come on, Seattle.
Come on. That's a big win for them.
I know it was.
Big win for the Seahawks. Seattle bagged a big win. Primetime performers and clear up the AFC playoff picture as well.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting low-carb Miller Lite. And in part by eBay. eBay, the power of all of us.
Hello there from Derek Ray and Tommy Smith here on the set of ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass. We always enjoy dipping into the mailbag and reading what you have to say. Keep those emails coming in, espnsoccernet.com, and look for the Press Pass link. OK, Tommy, our first question this week comes from Imafidon in Benin in Nigeria. Can Real Madrid still win the UEFA Champions League?
Well, I think I feel better about them now than I did last week. Now that they're through to the next stage, I think they can still win it. They certainly have the talent.
Our second question comes to us from Rami in Amman in Jordan. He asks, what's best for Steven Gerrard, remaining at Liverpool or moving on?
Well, I think it's best for Liverpool that Steven Gerrard stay there. And in the end, I think it'll be good for him as well. And I think he's going to stay there.
Thanks, Tommy. We want to hear what you have to say. espnsoccernet.com is the website. And as always, look for that all-important link for Press Pass.
The NFL on ESPN. 2 games each and every week. Oh, that hurts. These guys are tough. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh. The NFL on ESPN.
on ESPN Tuesday night in All-Star.